So what I'm about to show you is the trick behind my Cinderella wig. As you can see, it's a completely regular wig. And what I have to do is style it every single time I wear it. Luckily, it doesn't take that much time. And I'm going to show you in this quick video tutorial how I actually style it. What I have done is parted it in 5 sections. I have 2 really long strands on each side of my head and 3 in the middle. And the ones in the middle I use to roll up to make her create her bangs. As you can see, I start with the middle one because then I can hide the hairpins better. I'm using flat hairpins for this tutorial. I know I've sworn off flat hairpins, but this is actually the only time you're allowed to use them when pinning something down that doesn't really go into your scalp. And as you can see, I just rolled it up and it looks really nice. So what you want to do is to buy a semi-long wig with no bangs, so you can create your own curled up bangs that she has. And this is something that's not extremely hard if you're used to working with wigs. The first time I ever tried to style up this wig in the Cinderella hairstyle, it took me 2 or 3 tries and I hadn't found out what I was gonna do. I just messed around for a bit and suddenly I just knew how to style it up. The only downside is that I can't bring it to location styled. I have to either style it on my head before I go. I usually take a cap if that's what I do, or I style it on the location at the convention or at the photo shoot. And once you've settled your round bangs, you can pull down your wig a bit so it looks nice. The first time I ever wore my Cinderella cosplay, my bangs was a bit too high, so the photos I got weren't really that nice. It needs to line up just above your eyebrows. That's the that's what looks the best, at least for me. I mean, you can try around if you want. And you can see the length of the actual wig here. It's not that thick, but I just brushed it through to make it ready for the next part, which is my ugly ass weave I got from an African weave store. And I got this piece of hair, and it wasn't really that expensive, but it's the wrong color, and it's something I got because I didn't have anything else. And I couldn't find anything better, and I found out it worked because this is gonna get completely covered up, so it doesn't matter it's the wrong hair color. But you should try to definitely either buy an extra piece of hair from the wig store you purchase your Cinderella wig at, or try to find the color that's the most similar to the wig you've bought in a local wig store or local hair store. What I'm doing is I'm back pinning it into place on my head, so it actually settles completely into my own hair right now, so it really sticks. And this is actually the hardest part of styling the wig. I'm rolling up this piece of hair and settling it on my head. It doesn't have to be rolled up perfectly. Oh yeah, you can see it might take a couple of tries. As I said, the first time I ever styled it, it took me 2 to 3 tries. So you want to try to style your Cinderella wig a couple of times before you actually need to wear it. So yeah, I'm just rolling it up into place, and as soon as I get a decent bundle of hair on top of my head, the place I want her bun to be, then I pin it down with my white bobby pins. I just back pin it into place so it settles that way on my head. and it looks really ugly right now, but as I said, it's gonna be completely covered up by hair, so it's not gonna matter. Now you can see I collect all the hair in the back and I start rolling it. Now I line it up against the back of my head and I start to back pin it into place. So basically I just back pin on each side of the rolled up bundle all the way to the top, and I think I'm using at least this time 3 to 4 hairpins to make it stick and to make it stay in place. And you want to get kind of beneath your hair. You want to grab it with the white bobby pin, and then the white bobby pin you want to hide it as much as you possibly can. So now that that's all stuck to the back of my head, I collect the rest at the top of my head, and you can see that I've worn this wig a bunch of times, and this piece of hair had so much hairspray. I always hairspray the wig once I've taken it up and once I've done the hairstyle to keep it in place for the day. But you can see that this part is really messed up and it doesn't look very pretty anymore, so I'm definitely gonna purchase a new wig for the next time I'm gonna wear my Cinderella costume. But the technique is still there, and it's gonna look much nicer with a new wig. If you want to try this on for your Cinderella wig and for your Cinderella costume. You can see I roll it on top of the hair I already placed on top of my head, and I start back pinning the strands all the way around the bundle. And I just do that all the way around until it covers up completely the ugly hair I used underneath, and until it's in place. And I had to cut right there because I forgot to bring my elastic band with me before I sat down. Usually I would recommend a nude color for the elastic band, that is, because it's gonna be hidden away, but the one I have is really obvious if something slips out. But the two strands I collect in the back, and I start securing them into place, and once I'm done, I'm gonna hide them in the wig. And I do that by just shoving it up from underneath, and just hide all the extra hair. And I pull down my wig a bit, and I pull a little bit on the rolled up bundle so that it looks nicer. So yeah, that's basically it, and that's how I style my Cinderella wig. And as I said, it's something I do on location, and you can easily copy this tutorial and have a really amazing Cinderella wig also. I did this guide because I get asked a lot how I do my Cinderella wig, and I get complimented on it because it looks a lot like the original. And I really like this way of doing the bangs because it's much more cartoonish, as is the entire costume. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed. Bye.